Hello and welcome. I'm your Geek Eric. In this last week, I participated in the Brackeys Game Jam 2020.2. I think it's I'm not sure how many they've done so far, but definitely the first one I participated in solo. So the theme of the jam was rewind. And I did struggle with it, but eventually I came up with the idea of a time wizard having to explore this labyrinth or maze, or basically platforming levels. And the ability that he has that will help him in this effort. The player can drop this little clock by clicking the K button or the X button on the controller, and then they can press the B button anytime to rewind to that last position. Another trigger to bring you back to that last position is dying. So if you touch a spike, then it will automatically throw you back to that last position if you are not in this low mana state. Okay, so this is what the low mana state is. Basically, if the player touches the spikes, they will be thrown back. So a new player could easily come in here and they're just trying to figure out the jump, how floaty it is. Every platform is a little different. But then they can get past a certain section and then they can press the X button and drop their time point. So let me just go from the beginning and walk through the player movement. So this first level was just to teach the player that, hey, you could jump, and if you fail, I'm not going to punish you in this level, so there's no spikes. The second level is to teach the player that you can wall jump. This one I think you can get over with just double jumping, but you could also wall jump. This one you have to wall jump. So to wall jump, you just make sure that you're touching a wall, and when you jump, it's going to shoot you in the opposite direction at kind of a 45 going up. Okay. And then this level is the first level with spikes, so if a player doesn't know what's down there, it's pretty friendly on, okay, just start back there at your save point, at your time point, and if you hold down the jump for a long jump, you'll just coast right over it, no problems. And over here, we're doing the first spike pits. And to the left is, I'll drop a save point to demonstrate. To the left we have spikes on that wall, and this is to teach the player that while you're in the air, you can still correct your movement. You can still adjust your movement. So if the player just goes with this and starts wall jumping it, well, it's going to fling them into the spikes. But if they walk up to it and they hold the left stick to the right, then they'll lean back into the wall and they'll be able to jump up. And then once you get to the top, you push the stick to the left, jump again, and you'll clear it. And now that the player, I guess I'll go back up there. Now that the player has learned that you can do that, you can adjust your movement while in air. I made this one to reinforce that, where as long as you're holding the stick to the right, you're going to dodge it no problem. And then we're just kind of making it a little bit harder. The spikes are not recessed, so it's easier to get hit by them. In this spot actually caused a big problem. I was going to add a new mechanic, turrets into it last night. And as I was playtesting, I kept on dying right here randomly. I wasn't seeing anything. And so what I did was in Godot, you could open up your this editor drop down. Oh no, okay, so you go to the debugging drop down and you do visible shapes. This is just going to put a kind of blue cover over all the collisions. And this is usually really nice if you're having some weird issues to figure out where there's a problem at. The issue is that if you have, let's say, if you have one of these spikes and you set it false, or you set it its visibility to false, then it won't show it. So I was looking at my code trying to figure out what could have been the issue, and finally, I think it was in World 4. Yeah, it was in World 4. So finally I went into World 4 and I saw that I had a spike that was set to hidden, and that probably cost me about an hour of the jam, sadly. But anyway, I'll just get through this and get back to the portal. So in this room, I'm just reinforcing that, hey, you could double jump. You could also beat this a little bit more of a fun way. So if you jump up and you place the clock, then what you could do is you could jump and then hit B quickly, and you'll carry your momentum as it teleports you up, and then you mash the X button to save it. So you just do, and you'll just kind of climb. And then what you could do is you could run and build up momentum, and you actually I hit B, but you could face plant into the spikes and it would work just the same. So this part down here is the hardest section, or it used to be. I made it easier, and I might have made it too easy, but it's a game jam game, so I didn't have enough time to play with everything, and I really should have gotten a different, something besides just spikes, but I spent a lot of time on the player movement and tried to get it to feel right. So, hey, you live and you learn. But anyway, so how you beat it is pretty similar to the last area, where you just have to kind of hang right. But this time, if you hold the right stick all the way, you're going to smash into the spikes. What used to make this one harder is that this block I'm sitting on top of now wasn't there, and it was another spike, and you had to get to the bottom and then do like an air jump and scoot over, and I couldn't complete that 5 times in a row, which is kind of my rule for game jams. If I can't beat a level 5 times in a row without dying, then and I'm the one that made the mechanic because I've been playtesting it so much. Then someone that just picks it up just to go play it once, they might not have a good time. So anyway, this is the last actual room. If you guys want to, please go check out the game on itch and rate it. I would really like to see your opinions on the movement, especially because I'm going to be entering in another game jam next Friday. I believe it might be Saturday, but I think it's Friday. And that game jam is being hosted by Mrs. with 4 Iz's. And in his game jam, he takes an open license sprite kit and says, okay, all the developers go take this sprite kit and build your game out of it. In the last video that he made, I believe he made a snake-like game. It was really cool. It wasn't just snake. It had other mechanics like orcs and protecting villagers, and there was a lot of other stuff. So he expanded upon that a lot. This game to the far left started off as a platformer, but then he took the sprites and he made a 3D level out of it. So after you beat the platformer part, you didn't have to play through the 3D level, and that was super cool. My favorite one, I'm not sure how far back it was, so it might be hard to find, but there was one that one of the participants took the assets and he went and made these kind of low poly PlayStation 1 style models and then used the sprites as textures on those models, and it looked so cool. It looked so freaking cool. Anyway, I can't wait for that jam. I'm going to take what I learned in this one, I'm going to apply it to that one, and hopefully make a better game. And if you want to join along, I'll have the next jam in the description down below. And if you want to see how I do, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and ring that bell, and I'll post a video about it in a week or two. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.